Hello and welcome, and in today's video I shall be demonstrating how to finish off sides 5 and 6 of a block, a rough machined block. Join me over at the mill and we'll get started. See you soon. Bye. Now what I'm attempting to show you here is the continuation of machining up a block that was sawn on all 6 sides. It's quite a long process, and there's 2 very good examples of it on YouTube. That's this old Tony and OX-TOOLCO. So I will put a link in the description below to just show how it's done. So as I say, imagine that I've been doing it. I've finished all 4 sides, and we've got two rough sawn ends. So the situation is that we've just been using it in the vise and relying on the accuracy of your if you've got a Bridgeport style machine, you want to make sure that it's trammed both in tilt and nod, but you're relying on the accuracy of the perpendicularity of your fixed jaw compared to the machine table. And in this particular instance, because you're only machining it you know, as in the vise, it doesn't matter about this fixed jaw being clocked in or not. So normally the situation is that you've been machining it either using a fly cutter or a standard shell mill, or even a carbide insert mill, face mill. So of course we now come to the point of saying, okay, well we've got 4 accurate sides. What are we going to do about the ends? Well, of course you see a lot of people that they will either you know, try and set the thing up. You know, they'll pop it in there, and they'll try and put a square on it and trying to hold it while they tighten it up, or they may use a 1, 2, 3 block. Or of course, if you've got the best way of doing it, of course, would be to put a DGI and either bring your quill down or raise the table and zero and get it 0, 0 up there. Right. So bearing that all in mind, assuming that you know, you've set it up to your preference, you've actually machined this surface. The next thing you want to do is to actually check it and make sure that it is actually square, and if it isn't, of course, that you know, and you've used a square or a 1, 2, 3 block, you've got to have another go. But I'm now going to show you 2 other methods of doing it that you don't need any setup equipment. So the first one and also the 2 methods that I'm showing you, one of these sawn ends will be machined twice. So I'll get ready and just show you what I intend to do. Be back in a moment. Now with this first method, you do actually require that this face has actually been your vise is dialed in. You know, clock it up so that it's parallel to the to your machine table. And the idea is it doesn't matter which of the you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, whichever it is, that you place it down in your vise and you lock it up, because what's going to happen now is you're now relying on this vise being square, and what you need to do is to actually take a cut across here, make sure that it cleans up all the way across, and the depth is greater than whatever your minimum thickness parallel that you're going to be using. So my minimum thickness that I possess at the moment is a 1/4 inch. So as long as you've actually, you know, you've machined this all the way across here and down, doesn't matter how far you go down, as long as it's wider than the parallel that you intend to use. So what you actually do when you've done that is that you take it out and obviously deburr it, and then what you can do now is you place your parallel in the vise, and with this machine surface there, you place that downwards onto the parallel, tighten your vise up, tap her down, and skim over the top. You know, whether it's with an M mill or a fly cutter or whatever. And there you are. So you then take it out, you deburr it. You can remove your parallel or put the second one in. And now, of course, number 6 is now machined, and of course you can now put that down in your vise, tap it down, and machine it all over. That's why this is marked 5/7. So it was 5 for the initial reference. You've cut 6 in the other side, and you now need to cut this. So this is your 7th cut to clean that surface up. That's one way of doing it. I will now describe a totally different version. Bear with me. Right. With this second setup, it's still the same that on one of the sides it will have to be machined twice. But if you just imagine that you're now back to as we first started, you know, you've been fly cutting or shell milling the other 4 sides. It does, and it didn't matter whether the vise was locked up or not. This is the same situation there. So if you just imagine that, you know, you've done your 4 sides, you're now going to do the 5th one, and you've not got to worry about you know, all the other procedures I showed you before, because the perpendicularity will happen due to your fixed jaw. So I'll just drop that in. You haven't even got to get it upright. I mean, I've deliberately put this on the wonk, just so you see. So if I just hold this parallel up against there, and there is my square, and I'll push it, and the square is actually, oh, you can't see side on there, but I'll prove it to you. The square is touching at the top. Look, I can get a rule in the bottom, rattle it. It's probably 2.5, 3 mil, and it won't go up the top. So it's definitely not square. So the situation, what you do now is of course, is with your fly cutter or shell mill. Take a cut along this edge. Now I've just put an M mill up. I mean, it'll do the same thing. Now all that we need to do is to where are we on? Yes, we're going to start up, and away we go. So bear with me. Now it's nice to cut in from the outside, so that any burr that you push over this side. Because I'm going to speak in a minute about you know, how good this edge is. Now all you need to do is to go wide enough that if you want to use your rod underneath, you know, if you're still using your rod for resting on or a parallel, as long as you make it you know, at least wide enough that I say it doesn't really matter how far you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do about a width. So we'll just give this a little whir. As I say, I'm cutting in from the edge. So let's start her up and see see how she goes. All right, let's put a cut on. I think that will do. And obviously, if the cut isn't very square the other way, you know, you have to make sure that it cleans up all the way across. And as luck would have it, it has. So there we are. So that's that bit done. Right. So what we need to do now is it doesn't matter if you're going to use this roller underneath. It doesn't matter. You can actually just lightly clean that burr off, but I'm going to show you alternative method, so bear with me for a moment. Yes, sorry about that. My neighbour was just coming over, so I cut you off a bit short. Yeah, so just to repeat, if you intend to use you know, your roller underneath, yes, you can gently file that little bit of a burr off, but what I intend to do is use another method of a parallel, and for that you actually need a real, don't put a file on it, you actually need a real crisp defined edge on there. So what we need to do now is to I'll take you over on the you can do it by hand, but I'll show you on the surface plate of how we remove this burr. So join me over at the surface plate and we will show you about taking that burr off. So here I am now over at the surface plate, and what I have on top here is a piece of 600 grit wet and dry. What I just need to intend to do is to remove the burr on this edge. It shouldn't be much of a burr, so we're cutting inwards. Now when you do it, don't just push it on there and push in that direction, because there's every chance that it can catch and dig in, and of course and you'll lose your edge. So the idea is that you put it on there, you actually draw it sideways, just to, sorry, I'm making that out. I'm holding this flat. I'll do it left-handed. Just draw it across there, and then what you need to do is, because this is only a small edge, just put it on the edge of the surface plate, and again run it along the length. And then of course what you've actually got now is remove the burr, and this is nice and crisp. Now just to prove the point while I'm here, to show you that this is okay, is that, you know, it doesn't matter. See the machine, if I actually put that on there and put my square up against it, and I don't know if we can make out if I shine the light behind it. There's no, you probably, let's try zooming you in a little bit. Sorry about that, that's a blooming aeroplane going round again. Get that in shot. That's not I just, what do we see in there? That's see, nice and square. Right, so what I'm going to need to do now is to put it back over in the vise, and we will show you what we intend to do with it. Now I'm not actually going to do any more machining. I'm going to show you the principle of it, because otherwise, you know, it's you know, I might want this block for something else, and so it is only just a demonstration, you know, showing you how to do it. You needn't necessarily actually see me doing it. So join me back over at the mill in a moment. You can also do the you didn't necessarily use a surface plate. You can also deburr it by getting yourself a ground parallel, put the piece of wet and dry on it, and just say put it on the edge, but say stroke it vertically, well, or horizontally, of course. But I mean, don't go in and out towards the edge that you just cut, but go 90 degrees to it. So just a couple of strokes in that direction, turn it around, put it on there, a couple of strokes on the other direction. So as I say, don't do it. If this is the edge that you want, don't go like that, because you'll tend to round it over. So as I say, just slide it in line with the cut that you've just in the same direction that the cutter went. Hope that makes that a little bit clearer. We will see in a moment. Bye. Right, now just to show you that it's like I deliberately put this block at an angle, so just to show you I can actually get holding the square now, I can actually get this piece of wire under that end. So there's a fair taper on it. So bearing that in mind, if you intend to use put your roller underneath. Now in this instance it's fine because it's lower at this end than it is in the centre. When it actually goes in there, it will tend to want to push back towards the jaw. But if it happens to go the other way, what you actually need to do now is to put it in there, keeping sure that you've got the roller held back. I'm sorry about that, it's a blasted pilot training again. Make sure that it's held back against the back jaw when you tighten it up. Now do not tap it down with a mallet, because if the taper's going the wrong way, it will want to, the roller will want to go to the least point of resistance. So do not tap it down. But as I say, I intend to use a parallel. So I'll just take that roller out, and that is why we want to see with the roller. It didn't matter about the a dead crisp edge, because obviously the roller's going to be nowhere near it. But because I want to use a parallel, that's why we need a nice crisp edge. So you put the parallel in there, and you stick this in again. Yeah, just making sure we got the right end. Yes, we've got the right end. Yeah, and tighten it up. You can, or you can, if you're careful, give it a light tap. But to be honest, I'll just leave it as I say. Just make sure that she's fully pushed back. Then, of course, the situation is now, of course, is that you can now machine the top. You know, fly cutter, shell mill, end mill, whatever. And obviously, when that side is complete, you can take it out. Take it out. Deburr it all. Flip it over, because that side is now machined. You can put it back in the vise, and this time you can tap it down with a mallet. And as I say, this will be side 7 to clear it up. So as I say, so what you've actually done is just to reiterate is that just to run by in case you missed the principle. This was put in there and machined, and it became perpendicular due to your vise being perpendicular. We then turn it over and either put a roller or the parallel underneath. Don't tap it down with a mallet. Machine it all over till you're happy with it. Take it out, deburr it. Then of course you can then flip it over and put it solid in the vise and tap it down, and then of course, you know, clean up all this rough bit. So I hope that's helped with that. It certainly saves a lot of fiddling about with you know, 1, 2, 3 box and squares and indicators and things. And of course, this way it's the job comes out as good as like I said before, the perpendicularity of your fixed jaw. I mean, and you've been using all that to do sides 1, 2, 3 and 4, so sides 5 and 6 have got to be just as good. So I hope that helps, and I think we'll conclude that there and be back again soon. Bye. So there we are. I hope you understood my ramblings there. I mean, it sounds a lot more complicated than what it actually is. I mean, once you've done it once, you think, oh gosh, yeah, I understand the principle. You know, it's fine. But say, if you really want a more in-depth of how the whole job is done from start to finish, you know, a block that's been sawn on all 6 sides, as I say, the one that I would recommend to watch will be the OX-TOOLCO one, because you know, that's where I see him doing this. I mean, I didn't know anything about it until I see the OX-TOOLCO video of how to use your fixture and no setting up tools. So you know, and I've used it many times since then. So as I say, strongly recommend that you don't quite understand my ramblings, watch the OX-TOOLCO one. I think it's about 20 minutes or so for the whole thing. I think it's called Apprentice Block Squaring or some such title, but anyway, but the link will take you right to it. So once again, thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, ring the bell, click the like, send me a comment, and until we meet on the next video, wherever you are in the world, please stay safe, well and happy, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye.